Hey YouTube. Hey, this video is about where to acquire accurate information and where to acquire inaccurate information. You know, when I see comments on my videos, I can tell which videos you all have watched and where you've gotten your information from. I see some of the same talking points similar to politics. I see some of the same talking points over and over again. And unfortunately, I can tell that a lot of you are getting your talking points from people that coincidentally make their money by selling precious metals. I am not a fan of obtaining accurate information from people who are attempting to sell me a product. I started stacking in 1986, and as a 50-year-old, I went back to school. And although I'd always had a great interest in money matters and financial matters, I didn't know very much about it, that's for sure. And so I went back to school as a 50-year-old and decided to try to get my master's degree and get it in business administration. And I learned a lot during that time, and I'm certain no expert, but I want to talk a little bit about the things I learned that I've applied and have turned out to be very successful for me, especially associated with the buying and selling of precious metals. One thing is statistics. Boy, anybody can pick a statistic and twist it in their favor, and the precious metal world and these salesmen are famous for that. One of the things they do in advertising all the time is they pick a specific beginning and end date, and then they'll talk about how precious metal has outperformed the stock market. So let me talk about that for a second. Without picking specific dates, in general, without a doubt, the stock market has whooped precious metals' butt. And there's just no doubt about that. You can easily research it and find it out for yourself. You know, for instance, if you pick the last 40 years, if you were to have invested $10,000 in silver, and then you went to sell that silver today, it would be worth about $4,000. And then that's not even counting what you would lose because so many of you buy high premium that you're only going to get spot for. And what would that 10K in the Dow Jones be worth? Well, it would be worth $128,000 today. And so that's silver. Let's talk a little bit about gold. What you're looking at here is a chart from the last 30 years that shows the Dow Jones Industrial versus gold in regards to the percentage that each one of those has increased over the last 30 years. You can see in 1990, they were pretty close with each other. And then as we move forward in time, in 1997, the Dow Jones had, since that point, had increased 186%, while gold had went down 14%. Then as we continue to move forward in the year 2000, gold is now 20% down from when we started, and the Dow Jones Industrial is up 281%. And in 2007, gold starts doing a little better, and it's increased 114%, but the Dow Jones Industrial has increased 399%. In 2010, as we're looming into a financial crisis, what happened? Well, gold started doing much better, and it increased up to 259%, and the Dow Jones had dropped down much closer to gold, but still was beating it 318%. In 2013, gold is up 254% since we started, but the Dow Jones Industrial is up 469%. In 2017, gold is up 239% from where we first started. But where's the Dow Jones Industrial? Well, give it time for this chart to go up and up and up. There it is. The Dow Jones is up 779% from where we first started. Moving into 2019, now, 29 years later, Gold has gone up 282%, and that's pretty darn good, except for the fact that in that same time period, the Dow Jones Industrial, wait for it, it's way up there on the chart. There we are. It's up 910%. And today, those numbers are even larger. And for silver, unfortunately, that difference is even a wider gap. So, what's my point? Well, my point is this. Uh, am I in favor of stacking? Yeah, absolutely I am. I have been doing it for decades and decades, and I've done it successfully. And I'd recommend it to people. But I would recommend it without trying to give them a bunch of false talking points made by financial people who claim to be financial advisors who have filed bankruptcy themselves. Over the years, I've tried my hardest to spread the word because I hate seeing young or people that just don't have the financial means overextend themselves and put everything they have into a single, put all their eggs in one basket. I'm really big on diversifying. But the fact of the matter is, my word is trying to compete against the word of heavily funded salesmen that have millions and millions of viewers and subscribers. And so it's an uphill battle. Anytime I make a video like this, I will get a lot of thumbs down because people have bought in hook, line, and sinker to what some of these salesmen are stating. And for those of you who I can't change their mind, no problem. It's your money. Do with it as you see fit. But as a guy who's getting old and gray and retired, I can tell you from lessons learned, my strategy has certainly proven well for me, and that's why I just try to share it with others. I'm not trying to sell a thing, and I don't make any money if you believe me or not. So what am I doing during this most recent financial turmoil? I look at it as buying opportunities, but not just buying opportunities for precious metals. I'm looking at which stocks have been doing well for me, and I'm buying more of them. I'm looking at what mutual funds have done well for me, and I'm investing more in them. And I'm taking advantage of the recent spike in gold by selling some. So it's switching your money back and forth. It's being diversified. That's what ultimately will make you successful financially or not. I hope some of the new stackers or some of the people that realize they may not be highly educated in this topic go back and watch some of my old videos and hope you pick up uh, an, an idea or two. I get a lot of feedback from people that have done it, and I get a lot of positive feedback. Most people that have been stacking for a year or two and who certainly disagreed with me in the beginning typically come back and private message me or sometimes openly message me and say, hey, thanks, you were right, I learned a hard lesson. So that's all the object of my videos are trying to help others. Like I said, I'm not a financial advisor, but I certainly am trying to share what's been successful for me. And one thing I can say with absolute certainty is those that are trying to sell you stuff are not the people you should be getting your advice from. So, with that in mind, I wish you all well, YouTube. Bye.